everybody. It is Friday, August 9th, and I am back with a brand new video. So hello to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. And to those of you who have been with me all along, hello again. And thank you so much for staying subscribed. I truly appreciate it. Again, y'all, I'm back with another car conversation. I find it's easier for me to knock out videos when I'm driving versus, waiting to find time to do it in my apartment. So I am planning to do a sit down video like I used to really soon, but right now it's just easier for me to do videos in the car. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I know my camera, my phone holder is right by my air conditioning vent, and then of course there's bumps in the road and stuff, like it starts to make it shake and all this stuff, making it hard for you to hear me. But hopefully you guys can still hear me. I am on my way to meet my bestie. We're gonna have a girls' lunch, so I am excited about that. But I wanted to talk about what I had posted on my Instagram account. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And I basically was talking about God's order. That is God, the man, and the woman. Because we're living in a society today where the Jezebel spirit is running rampant, and a lot of women are just trying to, be in these positions of power, and they're trying to pretty much take men out of everything and pretty much dominate them. And that is, as a believer, we know that that is not God's order, okay? And I wanted to talk about it because you have a lot of Christians who are feminists, who are, and I'm not saying, I am a woman, so I'm not knocking down women who own their own business or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about women who want to take the position as the man and run their household, okay? So I'm all for, a woman, if you have your own business and you're a boss and, you're doing your thing. But if you are married and you are a Christian, when you get home, you're supposed to take that hat off because your husband should be wearing the alpha hat, so they say, in the household. Now, some of y'all might not like what I just said, but it's the truth, okay? That is what God said. God is over the man and the man is over the woman, period. Your feelings have nothing to do about it. What society says has nothing to do about it, okay? And I'm not saying that it means, and pretty much what the word is submission. You're supposed to submit to your husband. And a lot of people think that submission means you're supposed to be a doormat, you're just supposed to do whatever he says. That's not what submission is. Submission means that when it comes to making decisions, your husband is the one that has the final say so. Your husband should consult you when it comes to certain things, right? But there are times where God might tell him to do something and he's like, I'm not going to consult you about it. God said move. I don't have the time to talk to you about it. Then there's times where he's like, okay, let me bring this to you and we're going to have a conversation about it. We're going to talk about it. But at the end of the day, your husband is the one that's supposed to make the final decision, okay? I saw it's another Christian content creator who I follow. She had posted on her page where one of the women, and I did not watch the Olympics, the opening ceremony, which is blasphemous, so I was like, I'm not even going to support it. Now, I am proud of, the Olympians, but I personally, and so I've never really been into the Olympics anyway, but after that opening ceremony, I was like, I definitely am not going to watch it. But anyway, she posted where one of the women proposed to her boyfriend, and she has said, that she would rather eat glass before she proposes to a man. Granted, she's already married, but she was just saying, she wasn't married. She'd do that before she, proposes. And people were getting upset because she said what she said, and that just shows you the society that we live in. Ladies, you have no business getting down on your knee asking no man to marry you. You are taking away his masculinity when you do that. And her boyfriend, y'all, the way that he looked, like like he was embarrassed and just like being castrated right there. Like that is very, I don't even know the word for it. Like you are making your man seem effeminate when you are trying to take the roles that he should be leading in. You know, and I'm very traditional. I'm very, you know, I'm old school. Like I was born in, I mean, and I'm not old. Like I said, I just turned 40. I was born in '84, but I grew up in a traditional household. You know, and I come from a generation where you just don't do that. Like that's not what women should be doing. Yeah, you can do it, but it's not a good look. People are talking about you behind your back when you're doing that, and then you get down on your knee proposing to him, you're gonna be leading the whole relationship, and that's his job. So that's another reason why I wanted to do this video, because I'm like, you know, there's a lot of Christians that are like, oh, we're adopting the ways of the world, and that is why the world is in the condition that it's in, because you don't have Christians with strong backbones to take a stand and speak out against certain things, and that is why America is pretty much going to hell in a handbasket. You have everybody just going with the flow. Oh, I'm going to mind my business because it doesn't have anything to do with me. And it's 2024. And if women want to propose to men, then they can do that. If you want to be a man but you want a woman, you can do that. If you want to date a 12-year-old child and you 50, you can do that. Like, that's the kind of society that we live in. And people are just, y'all, when God won't mind when he said he's going to send a strong delusion. Because I tell you, people are delusional. People are blind. And I do videos like this. I post stuff like this. Other people are posting stuff about it. And then you got people in the comments getting mad talking about, oh, just pray for them. You can pray until you blue in the face, but you still got to open up your mouth and speak out against certain things and bring it to people's attention. That's what people were doing in the Bible. Why do you think they didn't like Jeremiah? Why do you think they didn't like Isaiah? Why do you think they didn't like Ezekiel? Why do you think they didn't like Jesus? Why do you think they didn't like Paul? They hated people in the Bible because people in the Bible stood up and took a stand and said, what y'all are doing is wrong, and you're going to bring God's judgment and wrath crashing down on your head if you don't get yourself together. And people now, it's pretty much like how it was in the Bible days. The only thing is, you know, things have changed. Lord, and I'm getting in one of these traffic pods here, and I hate this. Goodness. And where is everybody going? Don't y'all need to be at work? I'm not at work, and school is still out. I don't go back to work till next week, but the rest of y'all need to be at your jobs. They're on the road in my way. Anyway, alright, people, y'all know how it gets in the car. I get in the car, and there's traffic. Goodness, and then I said people just driving crazy. Anyway, like I was saying, it is our job to let people know the truth. What they decide to do with that truth at the end of the day has nothing to do with you. You did your part, which was you told the truth. And this is the thing, when you tell somebody the truth, they are now accountable for what they decide to do with that truth. So just how, I think it was Ezekiel, where God told him, you need to tell the people what I tell you to tell them. And if they listen, you know, their blood is not on your hands. If they don't listen, their blood is still not on your hands because you opened up your mouth and you said, you know, what I told you to say. But if you know what I'm telling you to say and you don't tell them, now their blood is on your hands. And nothing has changed. God is still saying, you know the truth. And if you are not telling people the truth, then their blood is on your hands. And you're going to be judged for that because you knew the truth and you didn't say anything because you were so scared to open up your mouth and say something. What are people, they don't have a heaven and hell to picture in at the end of the day. So what's the most that they can do? Write some stupid angry comment under your video or, you know, cuss you out or whatever. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, I know that I told you what God wanted me to say. So I would rather say what God says and have people get upset about it because now they know the truth. And now they're accountable and responsible for what they do with that truth. And if they're not going to have an excuse on Judgment Day because guys, they can't say, well, nobody told me. Yeah, somebody did tell you, but you didn't want to listen. Versus nobody told you and they knew the truth and they did decide not to tell you because they were too scared to say something about it. You know, and I'm not saying get up here and just start making videos and, you know, going out here, you know, telling people a whole bunch of stuff. You really need to pray about it and be led by God, because, you know, spiritual warfare is real. You know, you have riches and warlocks out here. And if you are not, you know, strong spiritually, and God didn't tell you to say what you're saying, you're going to be in trouble. So you always go to God in prayer, and if God is pressing on you to open up your mouth and say something, then you need to say it. But if you're just doing it because you know, trying to get subscribers and you think you're going to make money and all that stuff, that's the wrong, you're doing it all with the wrong motive, right? So back to my original thing. I just want to say that women, and I'm speaking to Christian women. Now, if you're not saved and you don't claim to be a Christian, or you smile this lukewarm or whatever, then I'm not talking to you. But I'm talking to women that truly, you know, are saved. The Bible, you cannot go with the flow of the world. Okay? God made his order clear. It's him, the man, the woman. You get into trouble when you get out of your role and start trying to take on your husband's role. Okay? And y'all don't even have to be married. If you're in a relationship, I mean, you know, you still should submit to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still don't need to be trying to dominate him and tell him what he's going to do, be bossing him around like he's a kid. You still need to learn how to step back and let him take the lead on things. If you always planning stuff, and you always trying to do this, and you always trying to do that, and you know, talking to him like he's a kid, that's not good. Like, he's not a child. He's not your child. And men need to start standing up. A lot of men are just, you know, keeping their mouth shut and just letting people castrate them. Figuratively, of course, not literally. But you know what I'm saying? Like, men need to get a backbone too and stop listening and letting women, you know, walk all over them. Like, the devil is crafty in the way that he is doing things, in the way that he has this society going. When I say society, I'm talking about in America specifically. America is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah and going to hell, and a handbasket of gasoline draws on if they don't snap out of it. And if Christians don't open up their mouth and start taking a stand the way that we are supposed to do. That is what the Bible tells us to do. Get out of that, oh, we're supposed to be loving and we're supposed to be kind. Yeah, we should be loving, we should be kind, but there are times where you have to have that fire and you have to let people know that it is wrong. In every society, every nation that has turned its back on God and started allowing a lot of foolishness, where they were sacrificing children, what we call abortion today, where they literally were taking their kids, throwing them in the fire to Baal or Moloch, one of the pilots, two are the same, but to a demon, where you have men with men and women with women, and you have these orgies and you have all this stuff going on. God destroyed those nations. And if you think that God is not the God that he was in the Old Testament, you got nothing coming. Because he has not changed. The only thing that has changed is now we have Jesus, and we can ask for forgiveness and mercy through Jesus. But you best believe America is going to get judged. And judgments are already starting to happen. So when you think about the weather, you're like, why is weather so crazy? That is part of judgment. And if we keep going down the path that we're going down, and we keep putting people in the office that are passing laws that are clearly anti-Christ, I don't care what color the person is, I don't care how they talk or whatever, that don't got nothing to do with me. What has to do with me is the policies that they put in place. And if you are voting as a Christian for people who are anti-Christ, because they're black and they're a woman, or because I like the way they talk. They're not hateful. You don't know, them people don't like you. Nobody that is anti-God or anti-Christ likes you. So they are not for equality and all that foolishness that they be talking on these campaign trails. What they are for is anti-Christ. What they are for is turning this country into Sodom and Gomorrah. But you have so many Christians that are just blinded, and they're blinded because they are too worldly, too lukewarm. They care more about the here and the now on this earth than they do about heaven and eternity. And if you think that God is not going to judge you because of the way you vote, you got nothing coming, because you know what he more than likely is going to say. You know what my word says. You know what I'm for. You know what I'm against. Why are you voting for everything that I am against? Yeah, I told you to be loving, but that does not mean to condone and support the sin. We are supposed to be telling people that you need to turn away from your sin. I'm not saying that we're perfect and we don't sin and we don't mess up. Of course we do. We're human. But just because I'm a woman made of flesh, and just because I stumble and I fall short, does not mean that I cannot still speak out against certain things and still tell people that they need to get right. Because guess what? People are telling me the same thing when I mess up. Like, you need to go repent, you need to get it right. I know that. The Holy Spirit lets me know, hey, you just went off on somebody. I'm gonna need you to, make that right. So it's not about being perfect. It's not about you not sinning. People think that just because you call somebody out on something, oh, you're being judgmental, oh, you acting like you're perfect, you know what I'm saying? That's not what it's about. If I can clearly see that you headed for hell, yes, I need to say something. We're all destined for hell if we don't get it right. And you need to find pastors that have a backbone and actually speak out against what this government and society is saying. If your pastor is telling you to vote for somebody that is clearly anti-Christ, you need to get a new church, because he about to be busted hell wide open and you're going to be with him. And some of y'all might not like the way that I just said that. And that's what people get caught about. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you say. I don't care. Get out of your feelings about it. You know I'm telling you the truth. I don't have time to sugarcoat and make it this big pretty picture and all this stuff for you to swallow. And that's the problem now. You got pastors too concerned about people's feelings instead of telling them the truth. You know how many people are in hell now wishing that somebody would have talked to them the way I'm talking to them, because they would have snapped out of it? But you loving people all the way to hell. So anyway, y'all, it's just getting crazy, and I'm just saying that we all need to pray, and we all need to make sure that we are being the light in this world. And I'm, like I said, that doesn't mean, you got to go out here and you got to knock people upside the head with the Bible. That's not what I'm saying. Like, when I'm out, I don't talk about Jesus like that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to, because I think it speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can tell there's something different about you. Now conversations and things come up, then yeah, of course I'm going to say something. But I'm not walking around with a bullhorn, telling people you better get right and all. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying you have to do. But when conversations and things come up, or you have social media, yeah, you should say things. You should say, hey, this isn't right, and this is what the Bible says. And of course you're going to have people that come, with backlash and all this stuff. Jesus said that was going to happen. And you know why? Because they know it's the truth. Everybody knows that Jesus is the truth. Why do you think they mock him so much? Why do you think they come against Christianity so hard? Because, they know it's the truth. And the devil is the god of this world, and he has blinded the eyes of people. And sadly, some of those people are so-called Christians. So y'all, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short. I hope you got something out of it. I'm trying to think which way I need to go. Thanks so much. I guess I'll go this way. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell people about my channel, and I will see